Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking right now at 4 o'clock, Iran launched a retaliatory missile attack on U.S. forces in the Middle East. It comes less than 48 hours after U.S. forces bombed its nuclear sites. The attack unfolding just before 1 o'clock this afternoon at Al Udeid Air Base. That's in Qatar. That's the largest U.S. base in the Middle East, 5,000 troops stationed here at any given time. Here's what we're learning at this hour. There were no casualties and the missiles were intercepted, according to U.S. officials. Qatar was also informed ahead of the time of the attack. Let's bring in Brian Schrader in the live center. Brian, there are 40,000 troops across the Middle East.
And there was a lot of concern about the safety of those troops after the U.S. strikes over the weekend. I do want to tell you that President Trump in the past 15 minutes has made his first public comments about this, posting on Truth Social, calling Iran's response a very weak response. And he makes a little news here saying 14 missiles were fired, 13 knocked down, 1 set free, he says, because it was heading in a non-threatening direction, confirming that no one was harmed. And he says, most importantly, they've gotten it all out of their system, and there will hopefully be no further hate. He thanks Iran for giving us early notice, he says, which made it possible for no lives to be lost. And President Trump calls for peace and harmony in the region and says he will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Let's get the very latest now from Lee Waldman.
Video obtained by CNN shows a barrage of missiles lighting up the sky in Doha, Qatar, as Iran responds to airstrikes from the U.S. and Israel. A U.S. defense official tells CNN that there are no reports of U.S. casualties caused by the short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles fired by Iran. It's the latest salvo in the ongoing Middle East conflict between Iran and Israel. Monday, the Israeli military launched attacks on Tehran, including the entrance of Iran's notorious Evin prison. This comes after weekend strikes by the United States on Iranian nuclear sites.
There has been a direct kinetic impact. Internally, we cannot judge, but of course, one cannot exclude that there is significant damage there.
The White House Monday reiterated the claim that the U.S., quote, totally obliterated the nuclear sites. However, the UN's nuclear watchdog agency says it's unable to confirm the whereabouts of Iran's stockpile of near weapons-grade nuclear material.
Obviously, if they moved enriched uranium, that is something that we are going to have to evaluate and address.
President Donald Trump alluded to the possibility of regime change in Iran on social media Sunday, writing, if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be regime change? However, Monday, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt says regime change was not the motivation for Sunday's strikes.
The president was just simply raising a question that I think many people around the world are asking.
I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
And you can continue to follow updates on this story right here on WRAL. We will have the latest developments on air and on WRAL.com.